And then we're going to start. We're going to start with the first few slides that we will really do in its duration in the following week. And so we are just, grateful that you are here. I just think that this is a wonderful opportunity. The Mesa CFP, or Community Food Project, is an opportunity for those who are interested in farming and food pathways, more so from the entrepreneurial side or the business incubation side, whatever your ideas are, whether they are grounded in for-profit or nonprofit opportunities. But we still bring much of what we also bring to our agroecology classes. And so, we really talk and try to bring together a lot of thinking outside of the box and really thinking about what is needed to not only help you build a program, build a business, but how do we continue to build a more equitable and just society? And then those very real things of day-to-day living. Some of you are emerging homesteaders or emerging farmers or urban gardeners, or some of you may have different food pathway ideas, caterers, food trucks, food distribution. And what you all have in common is the need to be able to think through your idea, supporting yourself, supporting your family if you have one. But how do we do that in a time, in an era where we need to be conscious of things such as climate justice, of food systems change, of the issues of equity, particularly when it comes to things like race, gender, ethnicity, life orientation? What do all those things come in common? And then here's some very real and personal things that we'll get into in the course of these 10 weeks. There are some things that we examine. You may have something that you really want to depend on potentially as a livelihood. There may be some ideas that for you, it may not be that serious. It may be a hobby. But even in being a hobby, is it a hobby that you really are trying to monetize and make money, or need to make money? Or is there something that's part of another cause or passion that you have? And one of the things that we will be doing over this duration is helping you figure that out. And hopefully we'll start talking about some of that stuff early on. The other thing that we'll be doing is helping you connect you to some resources, some small, some larger, but resourcing and networking is going to be very important. I will tell you that one of the best networks and resources that you will have will be others that you will be colleagues with in this space. But there may be others that you're conscious of or cognizant of, and others that you've not even thought about. And so I think this is going to be a great opportunity. We're here to help you challenge yourself to think about, what's right for you, because what's right for you may not be right for your fellow colleagues in the space. The path that you're on, the plan that you need to eventually develop may not be the same. But we will talk about business ideas. You will hear things around business planning, and eventually we'll talk about things like business finance and value proposition and collaborative or competitive advantage, whatever terminology works for you. But this is also going to be a space where we want to be able to lift each other up, and you all should be able to have some fun. If you go on after 10 weeks, there's another opportunity for another phase of this program to get a deeper dive into the business planning. There'll be some elements of things that some of you who have been in our agroecology class will get a little more of. We'll dive a little deeper into food systems education. We'll dive a little deeper into some things, even like participatory action and community engagement. But we'll also talk about things like trends in farming and food pathways. We'll talk about some things like ecotechnology and its impact on small business and food pathways. But we really want to be able to hear from you. And so with that, we're going to start talking about some introductions. And then we're going to have some activities. And then we'll go over course structure, course syllabus. We'll talk about the things that you all can expect from Michael and myself. Tools that will be available, and then hopefully we'll be able to share, and you will share some expectations that you want to create in this space. So I wanted to make sure before we start, Michael, is Lauren on with us tonight already?
Lauren's not here yet, but James is here.
Oh, James is here. Okay. So I want to introduce James Sardia, who is the project director from MESA, and he is the lead staff. Lauren Augusta, MESA's executive director, is not here, but James is the lead staff person who's working with us. And James is really as responsible for anyone as bringing class to fruition. And he has really worked not just with the MESA staff, but even worked with Michael and I, and really helped us think through and develop all that we really want to be able to deliver. So I want to give James some opportunity to come in and share and introduce himself and talk about MESA. Go ahead, James.
Great. Hello, everybody, and thanks. And just to, I think that some people can't get on the call because I got a couple messages saying that some people didn't have the link. So I don't know, just even I think Lauren was also reaching out. So I don't know if Mike, if you wouldn't mind, just apologize for logistics, but I want to make sure other people can join if they're trying to get connected. For the invitation, it might be worth sending the email, just responding to the email invite on Google Calendar with the link, because I had to actually go through a different way to get it through another system. Just logistical things, but I can do a brief check-in before that if that's okay. But yeah, so thanks everybody for joining. My name is James Sardia. Sorry, I'm actually out of town right now, and I'm just at using a street light for my lighting in the back. So yeah, so welcome everybody. Thank you for the introduction, and really I see some familiar faces and some names, actually, some familiar names and some new ones as well. And I think it's really exciting. Different students from the AFFP program, which is the Agroecology, Farming and Food Pathways, the Training in Applied Agroecology. That's a lot of introduction and advanced topics in agroecology that have joined. And if anybody ever wants to learn more about that, you can always email me, and you can get my email from Mike or Michael. But yeah, so I really want to welcome everybody. This is a great opportunity to really advance, as Michael was talking about, and Michael was discussing, just really looking at what you're trying to accomplish in a different way with a couple different resources, and point like learning some of the language that's involved in micro business and entrepreneurship, and really kind of, if it's something that you're incubating, meaning something you're starting out, really thinking about developing, it's a great space to kind of use it as a sounding board and things to think through. Also, if you have a business or you already established something, it's really accelerate what you're working on and really create a network and add value to that, because there's always more to do. There's always, if it's a nonprofit or a business or some kind of entrepreneurial activity, there's always more to add. And really having some like an opportunity to kind of like reboot or start fresh. This is a great space to do that. You're also joining a network, and not only this group, but many others to come afterwards, as well as hundreds of students and fellows in our program and other current programs of MESA. I have to mention that this program is funded from the Community Food Project. It's a USDA grant. So it's a great, kind of information that this has been funded by the US government, that MESA was able to secure funding for. And then CFFJ, the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice, is a strategic partner to really develop out and execute this program. So it's exciting time, and I think I'm really excited for the process y'all going to go through, and just rest assured that you have a huge network, not only with the community social capital of Center for Food, Faith, and Justice in Berkeley, California, because I know some people are also from around the country. But there's also an extensive resource that MESA has been a part of and has access to our other grants as well. So yeah, I just wanted to really welcome everybody. And if ever you want to reach out to me just to learn more about other programs, feel free to do so. And I'd love to connect you with other opportunities and, to just learn about it. And for your own community, you might want to share out more information. And if if you're not following us on Instagram, just MESA program is the handle. And you can follow and receive announcements that way. And also go to our website and sign up for our newsletter for other opportunities to learn about programming. So so thanks everybody. And I know the others that didn't get it, that weren't able to join, they'll watch recording. So if you're watching this after the fact, definitely you're welcome. And of course, look forward to connecting these as well. Now, if anybody had any questions for me or just comments you want to share, definitely always open it up.
Please, any questions for James?
I just want to say hi, James.
Hey.
Been a while. Hey, good to see you.
How's it going? Are you still in Florida?
Yeah, still in Florida.
Awesome. I can't wait for you to share all your projects and what you started in the training and applied ecology. That's program. That's great that you're part of this group, and awesome. Represent TAP. Very cool. I don't know if
go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if sorry, I joined him a couple minutes late, but I don't know if Jordan had a chance to introduce himself, or if you're gonna do that afterwards.
No, I'd love Jordan to introduce himself right now, please.
Yeah, I'll do a brief introduction. Part of our community food project is different line items and our programming partners, like the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice. We also are partnered with Grizzly Corps. Grizzly Corps is an AmeriCorps program based at UC Berkeley School of Law. And we're lucky enough to have a new Grizzly Corps fellow that's going to be doing 11 months of service to the AmeriCorps program with MESA, and partnered with our partner programs like the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice. And today's his first day working with MESA. So he spent the day this morning meeting with the executive director and getting to know more about MESA. And he's going to be participating and supporting more intentionally and strategically with the Community Food Project and our partners in California. So yeah, Jordan, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, welcome to the community and welcome to the space.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Hope you can hear me well. Taking off the mask, so it's a little bit better. I'm a recent graduate from UC Berkeley. I studied ecosystem management forestry, and I'm excited to be in this space. I am a newer resident to the Bay Area, so I'm just excited to learn it from you as much as possible and support CFFJ however they need, and going to just really support the CFP program as well.
Jordan, thank you, James. So we'll talk you a little more as we go forward, and we'll have some more input. I'm going to say briefly before we dive in, Michael talked a little bit about the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice. We are a nonprofit in Berkeley. We emerged actually out of the local church, which I actually pastor in Berkeley, California. But we emerged really out of the idea. We've been engaged in food security issues, food systems, and food sovereignty issues for many years. The church has had a hot meals program that's actually about 38 years old that has been a cornerstone in the South Berkeley community that generally provides hot meals for hungry, homeless, and transitional individuals. And Michael and a couple of others on our team years ago started thinking about how can we deepen what we're doing in the community and extend, beyond the church, that's really focused more so on community food sovereignty issues. And so in 2014, We had been working far before that, but in 2014, we established the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice that was really working with our urban garden programs, and starting other aspects that were really looking at pieces around youth development. How do we support the unhoused? How do we do job training, job development, programming, all around the issues of food sovereignty, health equity, community engagement, and issues of violence prevention and violence interruption. We know that those are huge issues, and a lot of times people don't understand how the issues of food sovereignty are connected to things such as violence within the community. But we really see the importance of threading that needle. And so we have a bunch of programs when we're fully operational, pre-COVID, and hopefully at some point post-COVID. But we have a program, a couple of programs for youth, for elementary school age kids called Seeds of Hope, and then one for middle and high school youth called Voices Against Violence. You've heard the work that James says that we do in partnership with MESA in these agroecology classes, which are happening in our AFAP classes right now, which are primarily online, and now the CFP. Then we have a program with folks who eat in our food program that are out of work or in need of life skills and job training called Beyond the Table, that really grounds them in basic aspects of urban agriculture, and train them in those skills that they need. And so we are really excited in terms of working with you all and the work that we do with MESA in particular, because it enables us and empowers us to extend our reach, not just within the local community of the East Bay, but in many cases all across the country. And just like MESA, we have partners that some are present in the Bay Area, and others that are actually in other parts of the United States. So really thankful for that. On a personal note, I came to this work many years ago. Even though I pastor a church, that was not my primary background. I was kind of reared in the nonprofit community, and I've been an executive director and deputy executive director of large and small nonprofits, generally working with families and young people, and in the area of conservation and environment, and youth development in particular. So, there's a lot of things that I've done, but I will tell you, I get the most joy in the things that we do with MESA and the related programs, particularly around urban farming and food sovereignty issues, and just really working with people. So we're really excited. Michael, is there anything else that you need to say before we jump into the folks?
No, I just want to say that, like, once again, just glad to have you here. We're all growing together. Make sure that you keep your voice heard in this class. Even though we have information, everybody comes from a different sphere and they know a little bit about something that somebody else doesn't know. So don't hesitate to speak up and share your input.
Thanks, Mike. So we're going to take a couple of seconds for you to introduce yourselves, and you're going to introduce yourself in 30 seconds or less, because there's going to be an opportunity, there will be an opportunity for us to do more group interaction this evening. But for right now, we just want to make sure that everybody, when introduces themselves, right now, you don't even need to say the name of your business or idea if you have one. But what I'd like you to do is just say your name and just, why you came to the class. Anyone who would like to start?
I go.
No.
I'm Robert Leggett, and
Go ahead, Robert.
all right, I'd say I'm Robert Leggett, and I'm interested to learn more about what's going on, and and I just thank you for being that accountable brother. I was about ready to jump ship, but you reeled me back in. I just want to thank you for that. So I'm willing to go all in and see what all I can get.
Glad you're here, and glad you're here. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Who'd like to go next?
I see Jamie with her hand. Jamie Hong.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie. I'm zooming in from the greater Los Angeles area, from the suburbs. I'm here because I want to learn how to create a co-op, like local farm supporting business. I'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Who'd like to go next?
I can go. Hi, everyone. My name is Maven Rogers. I'm currently in Orlando, Florida, and I want to create a business where in city environments, we take urban lawns and create them into ecosystem benefits, whether that's as far as native planting and then urban farming. So I'm really excited, and I know nothing about how to start a business. So that's why I'm here. So I'm really excited to learn alongside everyone.
Thanks, Maven. Thanks. Say hi to Mickey Mouse for us.
That's my hometown. That's where I was born.
Oh, wow.
Welcome, welcome. Who'd like to go next?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Hi, this is Wahid. I'm located in Richmond, California, and I learned about this CCFJ from Mesa. I'm a former Mesa steward, and I would love to learn more about the project and about the experiences and many other things.
Excellent. Thank you, Wahid. Thank you very
you.
much, and welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Next.
Okay, I'll go now. So my name is Jaskrit. I'm located in Orange County, Southern California, and I'm actually interested in starting a microfarm business, growing microgreens, mushrooms, and herbs. And I'm really passionate about the culinary arts as well as feeding people and making food and the knowledge of growing food accessible. So like weaving that into what I'm doing somehow.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Who'd like to go next?
I can speak up. My name is Priya. I'm happy to meet everyone. I'm based in San Diego, California, and I work in an avocado farm. And I'm interested in this class to kind of understand the business concepts and how to take one of my ideas of creating more value for growers and see what is the process involved in developing a business plan for that.
Thank you. Priya, are you already operating a farm?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Next.
I can go. This is Traver. I'm driving though, so I'm not sure if I'll cut out. But my name is Traver. I, she, her, they, them pronouns. I farm and try to organize and try to educate. And I am interested in finding ways to weave all of that into something that looks like a business, but is hopefully just supportive of community.
Excellent.
I'm in the Bay Area. Check.
Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate you. Who'd
Hello.
like to go ahead?
Tushar?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Tushar Uttarwar. I am based in the Bay Area as well, and I found out about this from Trevor. I'm also learning about agroecology through Mesa's other program called TAP. And my goal is to have a permaculture-inspired homestead cooperative.
Excellent. Thank you, Tushar.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I'm also from the East Bay, Alameda County, and I've attended the previous cohort of AFFP and wanted to continue further in developing a business. And my family owns does a lot of the business back end of producing mangoes. So I would like to have like learn about the import guidelines to bring in products such as mangoes, and hopefully be able to do that through this program. But
What's happening? Mike and I still waiting to taste some of the mangoes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All good.
Yes, good.
Good. Who'd like to go next?
I think Claudia, you're the last.
Oh, am I last? Okay, hello. I was trying to find the button to raise my hand, but thank you. My name is Claudia Noble Livingston, and I was in the cohort 3 agroecology intro classes. And I wanted to join this class because I need help in focusing. My brain is full of ideas. I'm very much interested in educating our people about the benefits of growing your own food and herbs for health and healing purposes. Then I want to turn that into some type of business also. Kind of the same lines as Trevor, trying to figure it out.
All good. Welcome, Miss Claudia.
Thank you.
So that was just a quick round robin of, your introduction. We're going to do an activity in a few minutes that you'll be able to get into a little more with each other, some one-on-ones, and we'll give you some instructions in a minute. But at this point, we're going to really talk about the classes over the next 10 weeks. And we'll do a little bit of Q&A. And then what we're going to do after that, we're going to go into some breakout rooms, and we'll give you the instructions in those breakout rooms. And then when we come back from that, we will begin the introductory part of the class, which we will do in its entirety in the following week. So
Pastor Brianna just joined us, Brianna Robles.
Oh, please, go ahead.
Would you like
Brianna,
to quickly introduce
yourself in 30 seconds?
Sure. My name is Brianna, and I am right now working full-time at a nonprofit as an AmeriCorps member, volunteering my time there. And I'm interested in urban farming, and I've done an apprenticeship in the past. And I'm just here to sort of learn more. And I would love to one day open up my own business that sort of ties in agriculture and just good food in general, and increasing that equity portion. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be here. Sorry I'm late.
Please don't apologize. We're glad that you are here. Before we get into going over the classes, I want to talk about the learning space. I want to talk about expectations. Let me start with a couple of things that are important for us, and then we're going to want to hear back from you. It is important that you all understand that we try to help create with you a safe learning space. The role that Michael and I play are not so much instructor as much as facilitators. We consider you and us a part of a community, and we would like us to be a community of lifelong learners. You know, I've been in spaces with people in classes. I've taught classes at the graduate level for several years. And I've heard people tell me that they don't have anything else to learn. And I think that's a pretty sad state of being. I think it's important for us, even as aspiring agripreneurs or entrepreneurs, if you will, aspiring or emerging farmers or food pathways professionals, we should always be open to learning new ways of learning, new ideas, and we encourage that and try to push that. The other thing that we try to do in this space is know that you should be able to come into this space fully and wholly with who you are. I know some folks, will definitely share their pronouns. Whether you share pronouns or not is not as important to me as we respect who you are and how you want to be referred to, and know that you are safe. People may have differing opinions about topics around some of the business, even the way that we talk about farming and food pathways, but we want to be able to honor, affirm, and respect everybody. We want you to be fully and wholly who you are. And we try to be defenders of that for all of us. So this is a space that you should feel comfortable to share, to be who you are, and to be respected as the individual and part of this collective. That's really important to us. The other thing that we talk about, those of you that have been in the agroecology class with Mike and I, look, the only silly question is the one that you just don't want to ask. We learn by asking questions. We learn by challenging our own ideas and thoughts and get better and grow together in that way. And then one of the other things that Michael and I are about, I mentioned this a little earlier, look, this is a space where you got to have fun. I've been in places and in classes where it's so serious, and we know that business and entrepreneurship is serious. We know that farming and food pathways is serious business, it's life-altering, life-changing. But this should still be a place where you can have fun. I would say let your hair down, but I ain't got no hair. But anyway, the reality is it's important that that we like to have a good time in here. And so that is really, really important. You can expect as well that Michael and I will be here and available to answer questions, to give you additional support where needed. If there are answers that we don't have, we will do our best to point you to MESA or to other parts of our networks to really support what your needs are. We would hope that you all would take this time seriously. We know life happens, but we ask that you try to get here every week and be engaged. It's important for us that we're engaged in discussion, that we're present. We know that there are situations where, as Trevor was saying earlier, we may be driving during class time. There may be other things going on. Just do your best to get here. If you miss class, things will be recorded. We ask that you can check in with Michael and I if you've missed something, and we'll work with you and how, to make that up. But attendance is important because it's a time that we kind of honor our time together in that space. We always try to make sure in our class 6 to 8 that we always take a break for about 10 minutes midway through. But if you need to walk away for whatever issues, for a bio break, a food break, or whatever it is, please, do so. Make sure if you have noise going on in the background that you try to keep yourself muted until it's time to talk. We also want to honor and respect the fact that some people talk a lot. You can be like me and talk too much, and other people don't talk at all. And so we want to honor and respect that, that whole adage of knowing when to speak up or step up and when to step back, to allow everybody that has the opportunity, that wants to have an opportunity, to be able to share. And so you can expect that from Michael and I. We consider ourselves facilitators more so than instructors, and we want to make sure that we create that type of learning environment. Mike, is there anything else that I have not said that we need to say?
No, you got it all.
So we want to hear from you real quick. What are some expectations that you have, or also some class norms that you would like to add to make this and own this space as we move forward? We'd like to hear from you, please. Any norms y'all can think of or would like to add?
Can you also hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Since this class centers business development, I know sometimes folks can kind of keep their cards kind of close when it comes to business if we're approaching it through a competitive lens. And I would just like to encourage everyone to hopefully use this space collaboratively and share freely, so that we might really assist one another in like getting our ideas off the ground and thriving in our communities. And also like really like put in like sweat equity too with each other's projects.
Thanks, Trevor. And that is important. Earlier on we were talking about, that concept of collaborators. And I think that is really important that we hold that forth. And the sweat equity is really important. And I think it's important for the sweat equity because, let's be honest, when you're trying to incubate an idea, if you're really serious about it, there's a lot that you end up having to put into it, and there's things that you can foresee and things that you can't. So that's great. Anyone else?
Wherever possible, I'd like to see people frame their idea with their built environment. I'm interested in this because my business's idea is in an urban space, but I don't want to assume that applies to everyone's ideas. And I feel that we would all be inspired if we had some more context about the land that you're proposing to build on, or the land that you're proposing to improve. And my brain just works this way also because I'm a city planner. That's my background. I have a master's in urban planning. So I always find narratives, behind where people come from or the place where they're trying to start a business. So would love to hear more of that narrative in the class. Thank you.
Thank you. And context is going to be important because remember, not everybody is necessarily land-based. So if you are somebody who's starting a food truck business it may not be exactly the same contextually as somebody who is an emerging farmer, right? So we will make sure that you all have, and you're going to do some of that tonight. You're going to be interacting with that, and that's one of the exercises you're going to be doing this evening in the getting to know you phase. Thank you so much.
Hi, I turned on my camera because what I'm about to say is important that my camera is on. And I wanted to say that if at all possible, when you're speaking, if you could show your face, that helps me to connect to people and to, in this here virtual environment that we're dealing with, because we're not in person. That's what I'm asking.
Thank you, Claudia. So if when you speak, if you can show your face, and again, there may be some times where you're unable to do it, but if you can, that would be great. Anyone else? No one else has anything they want to add at the moment?
I can say a couple of, this is Priya. So I understand the program, or at least I'm trying to understand. I would like to know what, as facilitators and the caretakers of this program, what is your expectation? Like, what do you look for as the outcome at the end of 10 weeks?
Thank you. That's great. We'll go over a little bit more of that when we go over the classes. But
okay.
in a nutshell, we are hoping you have a better idea. Again, whether your idea needs incubation or acceleration, that you have, a better idea about where you are in the development of your idea or business. B, that you have some resources to support where you are, and C, a foundation to begin if you do not already have a mission, a vision, or a plan, that you will come out of this with at least the beginning stages of those things. And hopefully, hopefully you'll be somewhere down that path towards the development of it.
Understood.
That-
yes, it gives a idea of what to expect. So just hold on a second. Sorry about the call.
All right. Okay. Anyone else right now? All right.
Can I ask one more question, actually?
Please.
Thank you. I noticed in the syllabus, we don't have a outline of future topics for classes, or at least that wasn't available when I last checked it, which wasn't recently, to be honest. So I wanted to ask, will there be like a typical syllabus posted where it's like week 1 will be about this, week 2 will be about topic B?
Go over that right now. That's what
Perfect.
we're about to go.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, Mike, if you can pull up that Google Doc with the course outline of the topics, the weekly topics that we're going to be dealing with over those 10 weeks, and we'll go over that and talk about that real quick.
Do you want to do that right now, or do you want him to do the breakout first?
No, I want to do that. I want to do that first.
Okay.
The breakout. We'll do the breakout.
Okay, hold on just a second. didn't have that prompted, so it's going to take me just a second.
Okay. It's the project outline. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't really have that one prompted.
So as he's grabbing it, what I will tell you is the first class that we're going to be starting tonight is going to be about understanding small business entrepreneurship. It is part of that introduction. And in doing so, the reason that we're going to start that tonight, because it's a long presentation that really would probably span almost 2 classes. And it's really going to be talking about what is, what is small business entrepreneurship? What does it mean? There are going to be some terms that many of you already know, some terms that may not be as familiar. When we start talking about things like, what is a value proposition? We'll be talking about different topics like that. We'll be talking a little bit, about, how entrepreneurs spend their time. What is the difference between being an entrepreneur versus being a manager? How do you vacillate between the two? Are they the same? We'll be talking about how those ideas get incubated. And from the next class, some of you, this will be a repeat for some of you. We'll be going into advanced food systems education, but we'll be looking more around the lens. We'll be looking more around the lens of business. Those of you that have been in the AFAP, when we talk about food systems education, it's more around just food sovereignty per se, and food systems change. This will be more from an entrepreneurial standpoint. It'll be very similar for those of you that were in the AFAP, but there'll be some questions that we'll be kind of asking, and still challenging, right? Because I think one of the things that Traver had talked about earlier when she was saying this issue about competition versus collaboration, a lot of times we often are socialized, right? We've got to always be in competitive mode. But I think one of the things that's great about business and new business ideas is sometimes trying to serve the needs of the earth or serve the needs of humanity can also develop business opportunities. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. So we really need to look at our food system and what that means in terms of entrepreneurship or agripreneurship as well. Then we'll start talking the following week about trends in farming and food pathways. There is an article that we'll get into a little bit tonight that's talking about pandemic pivots. It came out in the Berkeley newspaper just 2 days ago, and it was talking about catering businesses and how they've had to really change during the pandemic. One of the trends, and they're saying that even as some of them are starting to come out of shutdown, that they're still going to keep those pieces of the business that they added, a year and a half ago to their business. And so we'll talk about what some of those trends may be and what some of those trends look like. We'll be talking the next week about eco-technology and the impact of technology on farming and food pathways. That's going to be, crucial. For those of you that think about, I can't remember who said that they were really thinking about, a microgreens farm with things like mushrooms. You start thinking about particularly, indoor farming or vertical farming and things like that, and the impact that technology has. There's controversial issues I know some people have about that and its role, particularly in farming and food pathways in general. But we do know that technology, is here to stay. How do we really look at non-mechanized technologies as well? And assessing how it can enhance your business without harming climate, or the earth or humanity as well is just as important. Week 5, give me a minute. We'll be talking about market farming and food pathways sales and management. I know people don't like to talk about that a lot of times, but if you are starting a farm and your farm has a bottom line, you do need to have a sales and marketing and management plan. Week 6, we're going to be, and this is great for Michael in particular, because we're going to be talking about the business of composting and homesteading. One of the things that we're doing in the Center for Food, Faith, and Justice, when we're looking at some of our own micro enterprise opportunities, we're really looking at composting as being one of the cornerstones and soils being one of the cornerstones that we're considering at this point. And Michael is taking the lead on that. Week 7, we'll be talking about food and farm cooperatives. So for those of you that are really interested in cooperative farms, there'll be some good information there. Week 8, we're talking about participatory action. Participatory action 201. I know those of you that were in the AFFP, you had participatory action, but how does participatory action really look and how does it work, with a business? Are those things oxymoronic? Are they, competing against one another, or can they coexist? And then week 9, we'll have you engage in doing a SWOT matrix, strengths, weaknesses, or strengths, problems, opportunity, and threats for your farming and food pathways business. You'll be kind of assessing your own. It's going to be important that you're going to be honest in that. We'll probably pair you up with a person and then we'll really kind of do some learning together. And then the final week, we'll be talking about creating sustainability in your farming and food pathways business. We'll be discussing business finance and other strategies like online marketing, seeking funding, and so on and so forth. And that would be the basis, the beginning, week 10 of beginning to incubate your small business plan, which if you went on with us beyond that 10-week series, we would get more into depth and actually help you developing, that plan for your business, the business plan. Questions about that?
Yes, this is Claudia. What do you mean by if you go on after the 10-week series?
We have a 6-week series to do a project implementation.
Oh, after.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
What we're really trying to do, because this goes back to Priya's question, what we're really trying to do is in 10 weeks, get you, some information and get you directed, self-directed to a point where you say, hey, I'm either in the incubation stage, I'm in the acceleration stage. I might already have some of this stuff. Some of y'all may already have a vision and mission statement. Some of y'all already may have at least a skeleton of a business plan. If you do, that's great because you're leaps and bounds in. But if not, these are things that are going to help you formulate that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Certainly.
I would like to know if any of these sessions is going to cover what kind of institutional or other kinds of opportunities for this kind of business ideas or cooperative ideas in terms of funding and fundraising, those kind of things. Are those going to be covered in some session?
Yeah, especially towards the end, when we start talking about creating sustainability, business finance, and all that. Absolutely. And we'll bring in some people and help you resource that as well.
Thank you.
Other questions?
This is Priya. Just a quick follow-up question. Will there also be conversation about how to define the how to structure the business, and what will be the right way to form right now we're in concept or idea phase, or maybe at different stages. What kind of business structure may be suitable? Is that something that will be covered in the class?
Yeah, we'll talk about, we'll talk about that. What makes sense? Do you want to have, sole proprietorship, a LLC? Do you need to be nonprofit? We'll talk about that. We'll get more into detail towards the end. If you really go beyond, hopefully we will be able, to help you structure. And again, there's no cost for you going beyond, but we're really trying to lay the foundation and then go from there. But definitely we will be talking about, the differences and the outcomes as we go forth.
Perfect, thank you.
Well, it's 9:05 right now. Did you want to take a quick break and then come back?
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is, Michael said it's 9:05 because he's in Chicago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But you're going to take a break, come back, do what you need to take care of yourself, come back in 5 minutes. And then what we're going to do when you come back, we're going to go into some breakout rooms. I'm going to give you instructions on what you're going to do during that activity. And you're going to be in breakout rooms for about 10 minutes. And then what we will do after that is the introductory part to session 1. And then we'll be done for the evening. So take about 5 minutes and we'll see you back there.
So Mike, did you see the questions that I sent you?
No, I didn't.
And then, so I sent them in the chat direct to you, and then I came up with, I slightly changed them because they answered some of them.
Which questions?
I'll send them to you direct in
Oh,
chat.
shoot, I was about to send you some. So hold on, because let's compare notes real quick, because I'm about to send, I need to send some to you because they might be the same. Hold on.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. Matter of fact, Mike, I guess you can't go into this. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it like this.
Is it in your email?
No, hold on, but I'm about to email them to you real quick. I can't. Hold on. These were the questions that I had. I just emailed them to you. And I'm about to look at yours right now. So I'm looking at yours. They're pretty similar. Did you get the email?
Yeah, I think they already did the accomplish and the what brings you to the space. They said that in the beginning.
You think everybody answered that?
Not everybody. Hold on just a second. Hello?
This is the notification.
I mean, at 9 o'clock. Scammers. So, and we're gonna do the same format we were talking about, right?
Yeah, that you pair them up, go into breakout rooms, pair them up 2 by 2, and then just have them, so take out the what brings you to the space question then, and then, the other ones, I guess they can,
Yeah, these mine are pretty much the same. So instead of what funny thing, I put what fruit or vegetable best describes you.
I think that's better. So just what fruit or vegetable just best describes you, or what food best describes you.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
And so what I'm thinking is, because they should be back in 2 minutes, what I'm thinking is you want to give them, 15 minutes to do that, or is that too long?
I think 10, because they come back and then they tell about the other person's story, right?
Right. So we'll give them 10 minutes to do that, and then they'll come back, share their stories. And then we'll do those first few slides, and then we'll be good for the night.
I might have to go in. I'm gonna log in because it looks like somebody left.
Okay. We should be back in 1 minute.
We should be back.
Right now?
Right.
Okay. Let's give them 1 more minute. Give them 1 minute. Robert,
hey, I just want to say I like that. I've been good, Mike. Sorry about that. What?
No, just checking on you, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. Hey, I like that piece you said, Mike, on the food truck, because that's what I'm trying to get for my nonprofit, so I can do more pop-ups.
Nice, nice. We're gonna try to make sure we're sending.
And I figured that's gonna
those resource assignments and just those resources out, every week. So, definitely. And Robert, if there, other things, what I'm appreciating, if there's other things that are important that we're not just readily sending out, you can always hit us up, and everybody can hit us up in Classroom or on email and say, hey, do you all have a resource for this? Or are we going to talk about this? And we'll make sure that we do our best to cover, what we're, as we're moving.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I just got off it's been a long day. Zoom 9 to 12 this morning. Then I went to a luncheon for City Serve, and I'm back on the Zoom again. So but the Zoom I was on earlier this morning was with the San Francisco Foundation, and I'm believing this is time right in because he has a 4-month plan where you can write a one-page business plan. So I'm trying to get all that in and see how this works. You were talking about writing business plans. I'm like, this is all getting ready to make a boat somewhere.
No, man, it's good. That's part of the FACE program. We're part of that too. It's just that we've been lagging on some stuff because we got all this other stuff going on. But man, that's a good program. That's a good program.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you talking about writing business plans and whatnot, and they talking about how to write. I'm like, okay, I guess I got to quit shucking and jiving and get down.
We're going to jump with it. Okay, everybody. So we're back. And as we are back, we have an exercise that we're going to do. Michael is about to break you up and pair you up. You're going to be paired up in a group with another person, another agropreneur. And there are several questions, about 4 or 5 questions that you all are going to be asking each other. And what you're going to do at the end of those 10 minutes, you both should have been able to answer those questions. You're going to come back and we're going to go through each group. You're going to introduce your partner, and you're going to should be able to answer the questions that you asked your partner. And so whatever the responses your partner has, you should be able to share their responses, and then we'll switch. The other partner will do the same, and we'll go through it with each group. And after that, we're going to dive in to the first few slides of next week's presentation, and then we'll be done for the evening. So you are in Michael's hands for the next 10 to 12 minutes. He will pair you up, jump in, get the questions, and we'll see you back in about 12 minutes or so.
Before we go in, I'll just read the questions. They're in the chat. So like Mike said, you learn these about whoever you're going to be paired with. Questions really quick. What do you want others to know about you? What business are you in or hope to develop? That's the second question. In the third question, what fruit, veggie, or food best describes who you are? So, and I'm opening up the rooms. If you're on a mobile device, you'll see a join. So you have to join the room manually.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. And I'm trying to. Doesn't have your name on here. Your name is
It's Jaskrit.
Jasser. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Does that mean something?
So my parents kind of made it up. There's no.
Oh, okay.
I've never met another Jaskrit. They were gonna name me Jasmine, and they met someone named Jasmine when they were pregnant with me, who they didn't like, and so. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess maybe I need to do this for all the classes, but so what brought you or what do you want people to know about you?
That is a good question. I guess, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that I don't have an extensive background in agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
I came to this field of work like within the past year, during the pandemic. And so, and I think a lot of us, like, in a way, the pandemic has brought us to like situations where we've just like reevaluated our lives and our values and stuff. And so there's that. I'm young, I'm 22. So I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to figure out who I am and what kind of impact I want to make on the world and what I want to do long term. But
And how to.
Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. No worries. And she has written a book. Let me quickly check my notes. Her book is called Urban Farmers for Angelinos. Sorry, Jamie, if I mispronounced or misspoke your title. She is a graduate student, and she is very much looking forward to learning more about urban farms, food justice, and how it works. And her favorite fruit is citrus, especially lime. I skipped to the third question instead of the second. And she's interested in building a social enterprise that showcases local community and farmers and growers and local makers. Jamie, my apologies if I missed any of the things that we spoke about, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you both. So we're going up to room 3 with Robert and Tushar.
Hi, I can go first. So I spoke to Robert, and he wants the group to know that he is very interested to learn about farming and growing healthy foods, especially in an urban setting. He's in the business of non-profit, which we spoke about for a while, because I found it very interesting. It's called Feed Thy Neighbor Ministry. It's a 501c3, and he and his wife have been running this for more than 7 years now, feeding the homeless people in different parts of Oakland. And in order to get more support, he is also taking another Zoom class in order to learn more about how to apply for grants so that he can further continue his mission and project of feeding the homeless people in his community. And that's why he wants to learn more about farming so that he can incorporate more healthy foods in his current endeavor. And his favorite food is orange. That's it.
All right. Robert?
Yep. I spoke to, I can't pronounce his name. What was it? Tasha?
Tashar.
Anyway, Tashar. And his
Tushar, sorry.
okay, Tushar. Okay. And he loves food and passionate about plant-based food, indigenous foods, making the community aware of nutrition. And he's more interested in community farms, farmer culture, and homestead setting. And this type of food was a mango.
All right, 2 mangoes now. And so Mayvern and Wahid. Room 4.
Hi, yeah, my colleague Mevan is, the first question was, what do you want others to know about? So she has some inspiring ideas and she wants to eliminate plastic from the environment. And for the business part, she would like to start a business in a part of a compound that would enable the landscaping, if I'm not wrong, in urban farming, to develop more urban farming and landscaping, like more a greener approach to the community. And her favorite food is spaghetti.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I'm missed
No,
it.
it's perfect. Perfect.
Hi, everyone. So Wahid studied food, agriculture, and economics, and he prefers small businesses and is very passionate about small farms. He works with a local company now that handles organic products, and in the future, he would like to run his own business that in some way symbolizes some kind of natural organic product selling, maybe a grocery store of some sort. And he chose grapes as his food because he likes them.
Oh, all right. Okay, so room 5, and I stood in for, since I'm doing little businesses, me and Joshua. Do you want to start, Joshua?
Yeah, sure. So Mike, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
He would like everyone to know that he has a lot of love for people, and bringing people together, and helping people help each other, essentially, is what I got. He also has a passion for composting, as kind of like a business model, which is like an interesting way to bring, like food, and the concept of food waste and regenerating soil and all of that together, and like things kind of coming full cycle. And his favorite food, or the food that he said he would be, is a spinach and banana smoothie, because those are both very versatile foods, that have a lot of nutritional density, and can be used in a lot of different ways. And we also both really like palak paneer, which is an Indian dish that uses spinach. So yeah.
Okay, so Joshua, I hope I've seen your name right.
Yeah, I always say,
Jazz Skirt, right?
yeah, so like jazz crit.
Jazz Crit. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
exactly.
got the first part.
Yeah, no, you're good, no worries.
So what she would tell the world about herself, that she is young, but she knows what she's doing. She's She's worked with nonprofits already. She's worked with CSAs, but she really wants to start her own business, which she already has experience in growing the microgreens and the mushrooms. I didn't ask her exactly which mushroom family that she's interested in, like lion's bane or the turkey, what do they call it? Turkey tail mushroom, was stuff like that, which is good medicinal mushrooms. So she's very passionate about that. It sounds like she's really given a lot of thought about how this business will actually run and develop. And her fruit or her food was, don't tell me, I remember, it's like, what was it? It wasn't spinach. Why am I thinking of my stuff? I know it was very versatile. Well, yeah, give me a clue again.
It's a part of my business idea.
Oh, the mushrooms. That's right. The mushrooms, because they're kind of like her. You know, they're very versatile, you know, mushroom, and they're ancient too. Very ancient. Probably the first land-based life form, you know, but so mushrooms describe her the best, you know. So, okay, so we have room 6, Brianna and Vanessa.
I can go. So I'm Brianna, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Vanessa, and she's from Chicago but moved to the Oakland area. And she's been there, I want to say, for like 12 years. I could be making that up, but it's a long amount of time. And then she basically, her business plan is to sort of get the mangoes from her family farm in Mexico and bring them to the States. And so she wants to sort of like look into like transport of goods and see if that's something that can happen. And then obviously based on that, her favorite food, or the food that would best describe her, is the mango as well. So
A lot of mangoes, like that.
Thank you, Brianna. Appreciate you, and it's a pleasure to have talked to you too. Brianna is very passionate about learning about food justice and food systems, and taking this class will narrow it down and bringing her to the next steps, and come to a conclusion, whether, you know, to have like a small cafe restaurant or farm with a farm stand. Anything related to that would benefit her, and to understanding what would be good to bring to the community. She is arroz en frijoles because she makes her happy, and it's simple and it's very good.
Thank you. And I don't want to leave Trevor out, because I know seems like she had internet problems and she was coming in and out. So Trevor, do you want to speak, or do you want me to speak for you? Because I know you a little bit.
That'd be an interesting exercise for you to speak for me. I kind of just want to know what you would say about me. Yeah, and I'm sorry that yeah, I was getting home from driving and I had to cut out for a second. Yeah, I know. Well, no, maybe just for the sake of brevity, I'll do it myself. But I want to know like what you would have said.
Well, now you'll never know.
Why don't we let I was like, should we let the class determine like what they want? I'll turn my camera on real quick. So I'm Trevor. The questions were, what's important to you?
The questions were, yeah, What do you want others to know about you? What business are you in or hope to develop? And then what fruit, veggie, or food best describes who you are? And you can do it in any order.
Okay. I want folks to know that I am a growing human being who is trying to like completely integrate my identity into myself. And one way that I do that is through land work, which has come to me not recently, but I've been able to throw myself into it more since COVID caused shelter in place. So I feel very grateful for that. I spend a lot of time tinkering on different land projects and just being nosy about farming in people's backyards because I don't have access to a ton of land myself. So that's what I want people to know about me. Yeah, I'm always like, it already came up, like I'm like big on collaboration, and I'm also trying to push myself to like embody what that means because it's not innate. I think that we have to reteach ourselves how to collaborate well, especially being steeped in this society. And wait, was it like our business idea? No.
Or what business do you hope to develop? Yeah.
Oh, I like Claudia. Claudia said this, like that she has so many different ideas. I'm hoping to gather some focus, but one that I have the most focus on is like a very small business, which would be like a hyper local food as art / meditation business that would offer preserved, prepared foods to the community, sourced only locally. Like I'm talking like I probably wouldn't be able to use cinnamon or black pepper in the dishes because they don't grow here in the Bay Area, at least not that I know of. And to do that as like a meditation and an invitation for people to reassess what local food pathways really look like. And if I were a fruit, I would be, oh, this always changes. I would be a persimmon right now because persimmon season is almost among us. And it's one of the most like delightful times of the year because they always spring on us like a surprise and they're delicious. Check.
Okay. Back to you, Mike.
All right, so can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so we've only got a few minutes left. So I thank everybody for doing it. You're gonna have more time to get to know each other and bounce your ideas off. But what I want to do real quick, Mike, if you can cue up that presentation, we're going to do most of this next week, but I want to go through the introductory phase so you all kind of know kind of where we're headed in the first couple of weeks. And then we'll be done for the night. So just give me about 5 to 7 minutes and we'll be out of here.
Are you seeing the screen?
That's the wrong one. It's not the
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Here. There we go. A lot of clicking. We should be good.
We are good. So welcome. This is the introductory phase for urban agripreneurs. You have gotten a gist of a little bit about what we're doing, but we're going to be moving forward. Go to the next slide very quickly. This is the introduction to the program. So there are few things that we'll be talking about next week. We're going to be separating myths from facts. We'll talk a little bit about trends in farming and food pathways. We'll talk a little bit about effective business planning, then getting started. And we're going to be doing an agripreneur self-assessment next week that you will get to, that will take you through and what that's going to be about. Next slide. So there's a book that I read back when I was in college and I kind of tossed to side, but the reality is, as I've gone on in different iterations of life, I found it to be really useful. One of the most influential books about entrepreneurship is called E-Myth, Why Most Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. It was written by a guy named Michael Gerber. It was published in the 1980s, in the early to mid 80s. And the basic premise of the book was that most businesses are started by people with tangible business skills, when in fact, most are started by technicians who know nothing about running a business. Therefore, most fail. I want you to frame that in the back of your mind and think about where you are with your idea or your current business. We'll talk more about that in subsequent weeks. Go to the next slide, Mike. But regardless of what anyone says, one of my favorite quotes that I always say to challenge myself, and I hope you find some power in this too, right? It's an unknown quote, but it says, "You can't fall if you don't climb, but there's no joy in living your whole life on the ground." I think it's important that you think that contextually about your life, your business, your passions, your pursuits throughout life in terms of wherever the universe leads you. But I just say that to inspire you before we embark on that journey. Let's go to the next slide. So in understanding entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, value claims, and market linkages are terms that are being used more and more when we talk about agriculture and farming. And I would also apply that to food pathways as a whole. Many small-scale farmers and extension organizations understand that there is little future for farmers unless they become more entrepreneurial in a way to run their farms. They must increasingly produce for markets and for profits. Becoming more entrepreneurial can be a challenge for small-scale farmers, and they will need help from extension workers and other institutions. No individual is an island unto themselves, and we need to think about the places and the areas where we need support, okay? And how we network and how we access the information that we're needed. Think about, maybe you've never thought about yourself as an entrepreneur. Maybe you've always thought about yourself as an entrepreneur, but you are an agripreneur. You are going to be thinking about farming and food pathways and the intersectionality and what that means, not just in terms of your work, but as well as in the food system as a whole. Next slide. So what exactly is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who produces, for markets. An entrepreneur is a determined and creative leader, always looking for opportunities to improve and expand his or her or their businesses. An entrepreneur likes to take calculated risks and assumes responsibilities for profits and losses. That's an interesting thing. We're going to talk about that more next week. Entrepreneurs are passionate about growing the business and constantly looking for new opportunities. They're also innovators, always look for better and more efficient and profitable ways. I want you to push back on that thought for next week, because one of the things oftentimes that we have looked at what the entrepreneur is someone who essentially is really oriented, in profits and not necessarily in enhancing the world. it's okay if you disagree with that. I want you to disagree with, I want you to push back, but I also want you to take a realistic look at how your business may or may not be shaped by what the traditional model of an entrepreneur is, and how you can help to break or bust that myth and still, you know, be successful in what you've been inspired or called to do. Next. So next week, we're going to talk about the myths and facts about 3 personalities of business. I'm going to leave it right there, but I want you just to look at this. This presentation will be in the chat. You can look at it in its entirety. And I want you to think about some of these early concepts and ideas. And then we're going to really have some fun next week. And I hope that you embark on this journey with us. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Any final thoughts or final questions before we go for the evening? Y'all all good?
I think Tushar was trying to talk, but their audio's not working. Is that true?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Now
Yes.
we can.
Cool. So I wanted to know if there are any potential in-person components of this program.
That's going to be determined pretty much by, you know, kind of the county and the city. We'll definitely let you know. I mean, but that's really not our call. It's going to be kind of determined kind of where we are, where this thing takes us. But definitely, if we can, we will make it happen in person.
Thank you.
City of Berkeley, where we are, has their own health department. You know, and so we're actually not regulated by the county. We're regulated by the city. Long story. I'll talk a little bit more about that next week, but we will definitely, you know, if we can have that opportunity, we will. Other questions? All right, if there are none, check in classroom. There'll be some other materials that we'll be placing in there over the next week. And we are getting out of here a couple of minutes before 8. And I look forward to seeing all of y'all at 6 p.m. next Wednesday. I hope everyone has a great night and a wonderful weekend and the week ahead. Look forward to seeing you then. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Good night and see you next week.
Good night, everybody. And I'd just like to say, if anything's missed, it will be on the class stream. And I actually just put up the audio book if you want to listen to that on the class stream. It's very good for the mindset of what we need in this class.
Great. Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Orlando, for staying up with us.
Thank you. Bye.
My hometown.